All right, everybody, thank you. Welcome to A Million Cups. And welcome to the Jewish Federation for coming out today. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for them. My name is Luke. I am a community organizer along with the rest of these lovely people behind me. This is my first time giving announcements, so don't judge me too hard. 1 Million Cups is a community organization that has 2 companies speak every week for 6 minutes. We open it up to an expert panel, and then we take questions from you guys. So let me go ahead and introduce the expert panel over here. Grant, whenever you're ready, you're up.
Good morning. Sorry for not paying attention. My name is Grant Gooding, founder of a marketing research company called Proof Positioning, where we position brands by knowing, not guessing. Essentially, we're a bunch of marketing nerds that utilize consumer insights, statistics, and research methodology to help entrepreneurs discover what messages and what communications are going to be most mathematically effective to which target markets, given which mediums they use to promote it. So as for example, of all the things I could have said just now, I know that what I just said was most mathematically going to resonate with everyone here. I'm totally kidding. I had no idea. I have no clue what you people think of me. But those are the types of problems that our company figures out.
I'm Jennifer Collett, and I'm the Business Development Lead at the Blue Valley Center for Advanced Professional Studies, the CAPS program, which many of you are familiar with. I've spent about 30 years doing B2B and B2C marketing and business development work, and this is my first time to be a panelist at 1 Million Cups.
Welcome. Thank you. All right. With that being said, let's introduce Todd with EDU Lawn Care.
Good morning. My name is Todd Coleman, and I'm the founder and director of operations of EDU Lawn Care. Part of what we do is obviously, because we're a lawn service, we provide lawn care. We do both residential and commercial services. But we've kind of flipped it and are using the service to help kids work their way through college. The big scheme is that they graduate from college with no debt whatsoever. The other side of that is they have to learn how to run a business. So James and Nicholas here are 2 of my employees who are going to be giving the presentation this morning. And that's part of running a business, learning how to public speak. So with that, I'm going to give you James and Nicholas. And we'll be open to your questions after the presentation. Thank you.
We have a problem. Distribution of student loan debt in the U.S. as of June 2014 exceeded $1.2 trillion, with 7 million out of 43 million debtors in default. Public universities increased their fees by a total of 27% in the 5 years ending in 2012. And in 2011, student loan debt surpassed credit card debt and is now second only to mortgage debt in the United States. You see, we spend all this money on the future of our communities, and even after graduation, workers lack the simple soft skills and work ethic needed to obtain, keep, or excel at even entry-level positions in today's job market. We at EDU are working hard on solutions. To help in this matter, we offer many different benefits aimed towards high school to college-age students, as well as returning veterans on the GI Bill. Through our program, students gain real experience running an actual business. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm drawing on a blank. Excuse me, marketing, accounting, business structure, as well as many more other things are learned alongside with building strong work ethics and soft professional business skills like communication, public speaking, and timeliness. All these that are desperately sought after in today's business world on all levels.
So what are the benefits? First season employees are soft skill driven. Work ethic, timeliness, and speaking with emphasis on business and public relationships. College tuition assistance along with grant and application assistance. I'm sorry. Mentoring through area networking and chambers and economic development committees.
Job requirements include students involved in the A+ program or the Northland CAPS program, returning veterans on the GI Bill, or full-time college students. Students and employees must also be able to pass the interview process, which involves parents and program directors. All these standards were put in place by today's current employees. Getting into my personal experience at EDU, I met Todd through my internship in the Northland CAPS program. And originally, I did not think I was going to work with him. My future plans had him nowhere in it. I was going to work at Panera Bread. And through Todd's persistence and good nature, he was able to convince me to take a job with EDU. Starting off, the day-to-day operations were tough, as Todd had promised. But through EDU, I was able to learn how to look at that tough, laborious work in a more positive way, in a way that is beneficial to me. Along with that, I learned the complexities of social media marketing, and we put together a competitive analysis on the like services in our area, and we are currently working on a mobile logistics program that allows tracking of client services, GPS mapping, fuel usage, and crew efficiencies. All of it is a tough learning curve, a learning curve that all businesses experience at some point. Through our weekly meetings with local business professionals and political figures, we're able to present to you what EDU is today. And we haven't even scratched the surface as to what we may become.
Future plans. EDU is community-driven and designed to serve specific geographical locations. Each satellite is designed to provide startup opportunities for current students and future employees in the new communities. Opening new networking and business relationships for both the parent office and future students involved. EDU by design is self-supporting but may require initial startup fees and help for satellites. Long-term benefits include being able to provide retention of highly educated, debt-free, and success-driven individuals that have ties within the business community that they grew up in. Path of least resistance that dramatically impacts entrepreneurship and job creation within the communities we serve.
That's all we have for you.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear it. It's not easy to present up here. Great job, guys. Let's hear from the expert panel.
I bet you Panera Bread wouldn't make you stand up there and talk in front of a bunch of people, would they?
I don't think so.
That opportunity is looking pretty great right about now.
Yeah.
Dude, public speaking sucks, man. You guys did a good job, right? It's really hard to do, and so I commend you for going up there and doing that. So I'd like to direct my questions towards the proprietor of this institution, yes? I'm sorry, what was your name?
Nicholas?
Todd.
Todd, what's up, man? So, Todd, what this looks like, to me anyway, is this sort of looks like a program that a successful company implements in order to improve their culture and give back to the community. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And which is admirable completely, right? My concern is that we still have to build a sustainable organization to create cash flow in order to get this thing sustainable, right?
Yes.
So how do so what was not addressed here, and what I think is critically important, is going, okay, well, these guys have to mow people's yard. You still have to convince people to get these guys to mow their yard, right?
That's correct.
And there's a whole bunch of competitors of people that can do that and do it well. So how are they going to be able to compete with those guys? Because that's like step one, right? So how are they going to be able to compete with all the other lawnmowers out there in order to get this bad boy off the ground?
Well, through quality of service, we use commercial equipment just like the big boys do. So we have stand-on lawnmowers, we use commercial walk-behind lawnmowers. We provide the same service that those people do. One thing we stay out of is hardscaping. So the heavy equipment, bringing in large stones, building retaining walls. Up to that point, we can provide all of that service at a competitive rate. And to answer the other part of your question, as far as being a successful business, we're well on our way. But we were a startup, and still technically are a startup. And these two right here are part of that program, and they get to go through that process through trying to decide what marketing programs we use, what works, what doesn't work, how the money flows through that, and what's important to a startup business as well as a successful organization.
So having the same types of things that your competition does not give you a competitive advantage. That's sort of just the price of admission, right? That's sort of the price of playing ball. So are you having to rely on being able to tell this story as the competitive advantage in order to get somebody to go, you know what, I love the fact that you're doing this. I love the fact that you're helping these kids, and so therefore I'm really not going to care if maybe they don't do as a good job as the people that maybe have been doing it for a really long time, but I love the program, and therefore that's why they're going to hire you over other people?
Actually, no. It's been originally I thought we might have a competitive marketing advantage, but finding the monies as a startup to actually market that part has been extremely hard. So most of our business up to this point has been word of mouth.
No. So I mean, but that's the message. The message is use us because of this program.
No, we want people to use us because of our quality of service. And we recently signed up as one of our first commercial contracts, a Hy-Vee store in the Northland. And they had seen our service before, and they did not sign us up because of that. I was approached by them, and then once we explained what the program was, that just made it all the better for them to be able to. So our quality of service stands out well before most people up to this point have been able to find out. Do we want to market it this way? I don't know if it will make a difference, to be honest with you. We haven't attacked that.
I think it's a heck of a better argument than quality of service. Because I bet you won't find one of your competitors that won't say that exact same thing. But none of them can say this.
You're right, and none of them can say this. One of the problems in the service industry today, and what I've explained to these guys, is that quality of service, work ethic, and timeliness is a very huge problem in the service industry. And if we just show up and do what we say we're going to do, and do it when we say we're going to do it, we're probably ahead of 85 to 90% of the competition that's out there right now.
I was with Grant. I was a little confused about what your primary objective was. Is it to grow the lawn care business, competing with other lawn care businesses on equal footing, or to really push the professional development, the 529 matching, the tie with the A+ program? And I think that that's a point that you can really differentiate yourself in the marketplace. You're a 501c3. You could give customers the ability to do a box check and make a donation. That's really, I think, a point of difference that you could distinguish yourself. And then on the commercial side, it fits in with the community service objectives of a lot of your potential customers.
Right, and to be honest with you, that's really hard for us to decide what part of the marketing side we're going to attack first, because up until this point, really, we've been getting most of our business through word of mouth. And through quality of service. People actually have looked at our lawns, or people have called somebody through reference and said, hey, you need to try these guys, they're really good. So that's part of our business growth plan, is really to try and decide how can we attack the marketing side of this to really expound on what it is that we're trying to offer, because it's two-sided and there's great aspects to both sides. Some people, they really don't care what service you're offering the community. They just want their lawn done and they want it well. There are some businesses out there that don't care. They just want their lawn done and they want it done well. On the flip side, there are some businesses that do care, And we need to actually put together another competitive analysis to find out where we can pull from that information.
You know, I'd like to commend you. I stalked you on GuideStar, and in your purposes, your statement purposes, and your the way you positioned yourself on GuideStar was extremely well done. And there was nobody in that space that was articulating their mission as well as you were. The flip side is none of that came through on the edu.com website. And so I think there's an opportunity to really capitalize on the homework that you've done on the 501c3 side and push it over to the commercial side.
And that's interesting that you mentioned that. Our website is actually being rebuilt right now as we speak. So I just had an email yesterday from Mr. Robertson, who's doing our new website, asking for some of that information and how we're going to pull from that.
All right. Let's open it up to the audience. If you have questions, just raise your hand and we'll work our way to you. Or I'll work my way to you.
Hi. So you listed the problem as lack of soft skills, little or no real connections. So I just didn't hear how this advances the soft skills. I know mowing lawns definitely teaches work ethic and tremendous amount of effort that goes into what you do. But can you speak to how you advance the soft skills and the connections?
Well, these two right here are first year kids, okay? The first year, we try to instill those soft skills so that we don't necessarily have to deal with that issue down the road, which is what some of the big problems that businesses are having today. Are they showing up on time? Do they provide good work, and do they provide the work that's asked for? Do they work hard? Are they there to do what we assign them to do, or are they off in some other realm while they're working? And so that first year we spend building that work ethic. We spend that time building timeliness, talking to them, mentoring them, getting them involved in the business community. We hire them to work their way up. So once these two go through their first season, they're eligible to become team leads. And we want to keep them all the way through college. So once they graduate from college, they're no longer eligible for the benefit, but they will have the skills needed to actually apply what it is that they're learning in college.
Question over here on the side, to your right.
Todd, Sean Phelps, Vice President for College Works Painting, so very similar program. I don't know what question to start with, because I've got so many, but I'm really curious what your recruiting strategy is for staffing a seasonal business. Year after year, you kind of eat what you kill on the recruiting side of things, where you hire somebody, tend to lose them year after year. So how do you guys plan to retain guys? Like you talked about?
Actually, we don't have a recruiting problem. We haven't run into a retention problem necessarily yet, but we use the Northland CAPS program for interns. Those interns, once they finish out their internship in the season, are offered jobs through the summer. And once they get a good idea of how things work at EDU Lawn, it's fairly easy for them to step into the service side of it and just starting on work ethic, timeliness. Northland CAPS and Northland Coffee Connect have been extremely gracious to provide mentors. As some of those mentors are here today, even in the off time during the summer when they're not working, those people are still with these kids, coaching them, talking to them about presentations. Mr. Clemens, I believe, is here. Mr. Stedham, both are with Northland CAPS, and they teach within that program, but they also in their off time are helping these kids reach their goals.
Question over here to your left, all the way.
Hi, I really appreciate what you're saying, and it really struck a chord with me because I earned my way through college too, and all the way through a master's. And I just wanted to say, it's not so much a question, but quality of service is more of a consumer expectation. This is the MBA coming out. And I would say what you do is more of a differentiator, and you really need to work on that capitalization of that promise. You know, because there's a lot of us out there like that who earned our own way through, and that really strikes that chord. Like, wow.
Right, and they get ownership in the company too. They're working their way through college.
That's even more wow.
and they're not only are they working their way through college, but we're providing pathways so that they can go get that degree and not be $30, $50, $70, $100,000 in debt when they get out. Once they get out of college, they already have a path of least resistance through networking, through chambers, through the economic development committees, through just local connections. That provides them a path of least resistance to actually capitalize on what they've learned about how to run a business so that they can make their ideas come to life.
Well, that's wonderful, and I commend you for it, and I think you really need to work on that premise, that as a differentiator.
So, thank you.
Question in the same general sphere?
So just wanted to kind of get a little clarity here. So I hear that they're doing marketing and they're running their own business, what have you, but I only see one name. So is this kind of set up with a EDU and they're franchising under you, or do clients still come to edulawn.care.com and then the job is farmed out to whoever can or whoever's in that area at the time?
No, EDU Lawn is not a franchise. They all work for EDU Lawn, but they're also kind of trying to grasp what you're saying there. They're also in charge of promoting themselves as a person, as somebody who's going to be entering the business community. So yes, they do work for EDU Lawn. I don't expect them to want to mow lawns for the rest of their lives. So they have to network themselves also and become part of that business community, as well as work and market EDU Lawn Service while they are here.
Over here, up front.
As somebody that ran a lawn care business for 6 years, the biggest problem that I found to maintaining the quality and service was scaling past where I could handle the workload. As you get more and more accounts, that workload the quality of service, the timeliness, the expectations can go down, especially with that big commercial equipment you're talking about. It's easy to get careless or skate around something. What the experts were talking about is pushing what makes you unique is why somebody would keep you, as what I would see is somebody who says, okay, there are people that are young entrepreneurs that are trying to grow a business, they're trying to sustain themselves. They might bring up these issues and let you be more lenient with you than just firing, because in the lawn care world, there's a million of you, so they'll just fire you and get somebody else. But if you have that uniqueness, that 501c3 ability, then somebody might be like, okay, these guys are young, we want to keep them around there, we want to support a good cause, and give them another chance to maintain this as you guys are growing. That's just something I wanted to bring up.
Right, I completely understand that. And service has been a large issue with lawn care especially, but even through other service industries. We don't necessarily want to lean on the fact that we're a 501c3. We want them to do the best job possible. I don't care if they're have a master's in horticulture or a basket weaving degree. They still need to do the best job possible, and people should want to retain us because we provide quality of service, not necessarily because we have a good cause. Having a good cause definitely adds to the big picture of why people would use us in the first place. But without that quality of service, especially in the commercial side of things, you don't have a chance.
Question here in the middle.
I just saw under employer requirements you have veterans on GI Bill.
Yes.
Have you talked to the state of Missouri about their Show Me Heroes program yet?
We have. We've also worked with a guy by the name of Andrew Potter, who opened up a rock climbing gym in North Kansas City called ROKC, and he works with veterans through a program. And basically what we use veterans for is they're immediately trained as team leads, and their experience and their, we need to get this done and we need to get it done right, because they've been living that for the past 5-8 years that they've been in and deployed. That kind of oomph to get these kids working is experience that they will not get anywhere else.
Well, thank you.
Up here, same area.
Yeah, so your presentation only focused on, I think, a small part of the entire business. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. Did you start out as a commercial lawn service company and then decided to move into this because you saw some of the benefits that it could provide college students and therefore change to the nonprofit model? So the question is, what's the genesis and are you making money? I know you're a nonprofit, but are you making money today?
We are allowed to make money, and we do make some money. What we do with our money is different from what other lawn services do. Actually, we started out as me trying to get my son into the lawn service because he was a competitive swimmer. He swam night and day. He couldn't go do shift work at a grocery store or one of the normal outlets that a high school kid would go to start working, so to speak. So I ran a lawn service when I was a kid. I suggested that to him because that way he could work according to his need. If he had swim practice, he could go to swim practice. After swim practice or before swim practice, he could mow lawns as needed to keep up with his client base. It grew rather fast, and I found myself taking time off from my regular job to help him out, to try and keep things up. That became a learning process on, so what if this becomes a business? How do you hire? Who do you hire? What qualities are you looking for? All that morphed into what is now EDU Lawn.
All right, last open question from Kansas City's favorite librarian.
Hey, James, I'm gonna give you a web redemption real quick, okay?
Okay.
I need you to not give me a pretty answer.
Okay.
Give me a real answer.
All right.
Tell me why this matters.
I think this matters because, as Todd has said before, we're seeing a lack in work ethic and professionalism in the community. I really don't think that I know it's not being taught in high school, in our public school today. I really wasn't taught any of this stuff until I got out into the Northland CAPS program and was finally able to kind of implement it once I got with Todd. EDU was able to give me the chance to actually implement what I learned in Northland CAPS into my actual life. And the guy is completely passionate about this, and he's not going to stop anytime soon or anytime at all, I don't think. And truly, it's going to keep on going no matter what.
That's a great answer. Our final question, what can we as a community do to help you?
We are a startup, and because of what we do with our funds, our money is limited as far as expansion goes. Really, we're just looking for traction within the community. We've gotten quite a bit up to this point, and working on capitalizing on that, but making that also a learning situation for our employees are two different monsters, right? So right now we serve Clay and Platte counties. We want to grow to serve other areas in the metro area and eventually grow beyond that. The way that we grow as a lawn service is not necessarily how most lawn services grow. Most lawn services grow by just expanding their service area. We don't want to do that. We want to serve the specific community so that that community's money goes back to that community, to the kids in that community. That's a marketing advantage that I think we can offer also. That being said, it's much easier to grow in area than it is to grow in offices. So we need help trying to strategize how that is going to work and how to make the money come together so that we can open up an office to serve a specific community and not just simply try and grow in service area. One of the other things that we are looking for, obviously because we offer this service through our 501c3 and through a foundation, we're eligible for grant money, both through GI programs and also through education programs. And we need help capitalizing on that issue.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. A round of applause for EDU Lawn Care, please. I'm going to steal this down. Thank you, guys. All right, a few community announcements. First up, Jana Deshay with UPS.
Good morning. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to come in. Just real quick, we wanted to make an announcement. Yes. There is a, on the sheet that everyone has, there's some information there. Also in back are some brochures about the Midwest Export Challenge. What this is a contest we're doing in our district. I'm with UPS locally. Our district is 4 states, but we're really focusing on the Kansas City area because we believe in the startup community here. The Export Challenge is for any entrepreneurs, startups, or existing businesses who are already shipping internationally or want to and want to expand their markets, their lanes, or who are not shipping internationally yet but would like to. The contest is going to award three prizes. The first place gets up to $25,000 in international shipping and services. This competition is sponsored by UPS and then World Trade Center Kansas City and Denton's Law Firm, which is an international law firm here in Kansas City. So please take a look at your sheet or grab the piece of collateral out back, or I'll be here and my colleague Joe Rom with UPS if you have any questions. Thank you.
Next up, Nathan Kurtz, who wants to talk about Royals baseball, I believe.
And apparently the Cavaliers, or Indians. So my name's Nathan Kurtz, work here at the foundation. As you probably know, Entrepreneurship Day at the K was postponed to a giant thunderstorm. It has now been rescheduled. On your way out of these flyers, there's a fancy map on the back, but you'll see the front side of this flyer. Grab one of these. If you purchased a ticket for E-Day at the K back in May, you have to exchange your ticket. On here is the instructions for how to do that. Please also tell us if you're coming to the game. So the Kauffman Foundation, the EDC of KCMO, and Sprint have sponsored the tailgate portion. So from 4 to 6, free food, cash bar, come out, have a great time meeting other entrepreneurs. We've had close to 500 the last several years for this event. It is a great event. Get this flyer, go to the website, register if you're gonna come to the tailgate, just so we know you're coming, and then either buy a new ticket or exchange your old ticket. There's instructions for that. Hope you guys can make it. It'll be a great time, July 19th.
Awesome. All right, you guys have a lot of paper to grab on your way out, so be sure and grab this announcement sheet as well for more information about things going on in Kansas City. So let's do Mug Club. Can you please raise your hand if you've been to 1 Million Cups 10 or more times? Awesome, 10 or more times. Great. Can you please put your hand down if you are a male? It happened. We have our Mug Club recipient in the back. Can you please tell us your name and why you come to 1 Million Cups?
Because you guys rock. Genuinely, you're inspiring. It's pretty cool to be here to hear what's going on in Kansas City, because if we don't get out there and test and try and help each other, what are we here to do? Welcome to Mud Club.
Thank you. All right, our next presenter, I would like to welcome to the stage Sherry Gillette with Pet Perch.
Hello, my name's Sherry. Can I get a hand for people out there who love pets or have pets? Yay! Okay. Well, I want to tell you, my business is Pet Perch, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've been an industrial designer, product designer, for about 20 years, and my husband and I, we work together with companies like Graco and Kiko and Nuna and Joey, and we design juvenile products, car seats, strollers, high chairs. And we'd go into these business meetings, and our boss would say, hey, congratulations, this product that you and Mike worked on, you designed, made $5 million last year. And Mike and I were just looking at each other and saying, why aren't we doing this for ourselves? We need to design our own product. So the Pet Perch is the first attempt at designing our own product. Now, we know concept development through manufacturing really well because we've done it. I do industrial design. He's a design engineer, quality and compliance specialist. So anyway, we this is our logo. So we're thinking, well, what can we design that is in our wheelhouse of products or materials and manufacturing processes that we know? And our cat gave us our answer. We're sitting there working, we work a lot from home, and we have products laying around the house, and we cannot keep our pets out of the products that we have at home for samples, especially the slung seats. So we thought, is there any really well-designed pet beds out there? So we looked around, and mostly there's those big pads that you just throw on the floor. And the problem with those is anyone ever tried to wash those? You just like stuff them in your wash machine and they come out, stuff them in the dryer, and they never dry completely, they stink. They're usually not very attractive. So we decided to design a pet bed, specifically looking at the needs of pets. So what we came up with, so we started prototyping like crazy. My husband joined the tech lab, and he started bending tubes. I bought a sewing machine and started sewing, and realized that I despise sewing. But so anyway, these are some prototypes, and we came up with an idea where we wanted it to be, because everyone has different needs, different pets, we wanted it to be configurable. And so these are some of the early prototypes. And these are our pets. Just every time we'd set a prototype down, they'd hop in it and lay down. So our consumers loved our product. We decided for hot days it needed to have a mesh bottom for airflow to cool the pets, and then an insert pad that came out real easily that you could throw in the wash that would dry completely. Cats especially like to go into like little caves, so we decided to have an add-on canopy, so someone that wants to do that, and then a raised extension, because cats like to look out the window, and some dogs like to sit up really high. Our dog's always up on the edge of our couch and things like that. So that was our thought process. So then we have it, so it comes apart for shipping, and also if you want to, travel with it, take it with you. And then this is this is our latest prototype, and our pets loving the pet nest. So I wanted to come up here and tell you this huge success story, and that was my goal. Our weak side is, like I said, we know manufacturing from concept developed to manufacturing, we are very weak in marketing, and we're very weak in the whole business end of it. So we started a Kickstarter to get our minimum order. We started it 2 weeks ago, and it's actually an epic fail. After a couple days and no one was supporting our campaign, I started having dreams of like an airplane, like it's going down to crash. So anyway, that being said, we need to stop and really look at this. Maybe Kickstarter wasn't the right platform, to get funding. That could be the one problem. The other problem is maybe it's the ugly baby syndrome, where everyone tells you they love it, oh, your baby's beautiful, and they turn around and they go, oh my God, that's an ugly baby. It might be that. Or, it may be that it's a product that people love, but they just don't want to buy. We don't know yet at this point. We still have 2 weeks on our Kickstarter. Yesterday I got a contact from a lady who's got an online pet magazine, and she has like 50,000 followers, and she's like, oh, I saw this, it's brilliant, I want you to succeed. And so she's sending out, advertisements for us. But anyway, I wanted to show you, did the video play? Oh, okay. Well, this is, we made 15 prototypes, and we put them out to people, and we've always gotten really good response. And then these are the prototypes that we have. So anyway, our next steps are just to figure out if this actually is a business, or if we need to move on to something else, or figure out maybe remarketing or something like that. So that is my presentation, and so that's where we're at with Pet Perch.
A quick round of applause. And I think that's a perfect segue into Grant Gooding.
Well, hello.
Hello.
So it's funny because like I have a 2-year-old and a ton of animals. Well, I have a ton of animals.
Yeah.
And our cats love if we have the car seat inside, our cats love it.
Yeah, yeah.
So the problem I think is we see this working with inventors a lot. It's if you build it, they will come syndrome, which used to be the case, right? Unfortunately, now it's just everything's too crowded, everything's too competitive,
Right.
and there's too many variables that exist, right? So one of the variables being, like, I have no doubt that you've probably engineered this product to be incredibly effective, right? You've done a little bit of field testing, you've done some things, but there are other variables that enter into the conversation, such as, is that why people purchase pet products, right? If you ask yourself that question, because functionality may not actually enter into the equation that much. Does it look good in my home? Is that 90% importance and 10% functionality? Or is it 90% functionality and 10% aesthetics?
Right.
And so these are things you're going to have to understand, because that is the insights that you're going to be able to garner from the market is what's going to be the data that's going to allow you to go, okay, well, we need to shift this product up so people don't think our baby's quite so ugly.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So you're fighting, so a lot of times it's challenging for inventors, but you got to come at it from the opposite angle sometimes in order to make this kind of get off the ground.
Right. Yeah,
If
I
you're not-
agree.
if-
I agree. I like the marketing part we're very weak in that area.
So let me ask you this then. Why? Because you're starting from square one, it sounds like.
Right.
So why don't you take, and have you patented any of these things or looked into, is there any intellectual property here?
Yeah, I have a provisional on it. I'm waiting to see if it takes off before I invest the $5,000 to actually do the full-blown patent. But I do have a provisional on it.
So look at it from this perspective, right? So let's say you're dealing with $5,000.
Right.
If $5,000 would be enough to secure a provisional patent, or what else could I do with that? What else could I do with $5,000?
Right.
Could I go and put that into the marketplace and hope to get some traction and get some sales?
Right.
I think from an effectiveness perspective, you're going to find that going the intellectual property route is probably going to be a better use of your cash right now, because it allows you to have the opportunity to take this product and sell it to somebody who actually has the wherewithal to market it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And
So
that's
you may be
definitely something we want to
you
look
may be looking at an early exit here rather than trying to build a business,
Uh-huh.
and I want you to at least take that into consideration.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. That's something we'll need to look at.
I agree with Grant. Really, if I were in your shoes, I'd be looking at channels of distribution. What channel do I want to go? Do I want to use a manufacturer's rep? You're in a very competitive market that's really, really cluttered. And I would also narrow down on one, what's your most important value proposition? I heard you say, pets love it, it's comfortable, it's easy to clean, it's aesthetically pleasing, but you need to settle on that one value proposition and be able to sell that to a buyer. You need to get, a buyer, you have to get down to one message, because when you're getting in front of buyers, you have about 60 seconds, and that's it. So your value proposition has to be razor sharp, and know what that is and be able to sell to it.
Okay, that's a good point.
If you have questions, get those hands up, and we will start right here in the front.
Hi. My name's Travis. I am the organizer of the Kansas City Dog Club, and I have a 12-pound Chinese crested that uses my girlfriend's $1,000 chair all day long while she's at work so he can get up. So, and I have 3 other dogs, so I know that this is something that dog lovers would use. You said you're failing massively at your Kickstarter campaign.
Right.
I did not pick up the program today, but I did a Google search here for exactly Perch pet products, and all I found was your Facebook page.
Oh.
Do you have a website? Did you build a email newsletter or subscriber list before you started your Kickstarter campaign? Did you already build a list of people interested in the product before you went on Kickstarter?
We tried to the best of our, expertise, which is little, and We did what we knew to do, but after starting the Kickstarter, then you start getting all these, you know, emails from people that say, this is what we do, this, you know, we help you build the list, all that kind of stuff. So after we started it, we realized there was probably a lot more that we should have done. But we did try starting, you know, almost like 8 months ago. But, you know, you can only do what you know. We know more now. Maybe next time if we do something, we'll do better, but so.
Question in the back on the right.
Couple of things that jumped out at me. Number one is I have a dog that's probably about 40 pounds. Looking at the unit on there, I can't tell whether that's going to be strong enough for that size dog. And so that's one thing that I wanted to jump out. But the thing that you said that really grabbed me was this is something that's easy to clean. And so like as a consumer, I'm thinking, okay, that's why I would want to buy that bed. That's why I would want to have that instead of the one that I have that I've replaced about 3 times already. So that is a selling point for me. And I have some other ideas I'll share with you after the presentation. But
well, this is our medium bed that I brought here today, and this is up to 35 pounds. And then we have another one that goes up to 65. If we go larger than that, we're going to probably have to put a support in the back. But my husband's a testing engineer, and we tested this to 3 times. These samples here are our first samples, and the tubing was way too weak. We did beef up the tubing, and if you take big packs of water and throw it on, which is one of the testing things my husband did, it'll hold. There's a picture of my daughter who's 8 years old, and she lays in it. So we made sure that it was that it's strong enough. But back to your question, we do have a website. It's called if you Google Perch for Pets, you should find our website and then our Kickstarter.
Excellent question up front.
Hi, thanks for your presentation.
Yeah.
Have you considered licensing this?
You know, I know that word, but I'm not really sure what that means. So that's one of the things we're going to probably start looking at in the future. But yeah, that's something that I wouldn't, if I find out what that is, I would like to look into that. So.
Question over here on your right.
Good morning. My name is Mark.
Hi.
I did not hear you say the price point that you're envisioning these might be sold into.
Okay.
But before you answer, though,
Yeah.
for people that don't have pets, they will not relate to this. If whatever number you're going to come back with, why would you ever spend that on your animal? Now that my family has an animal, I can tell you that you spend way more than you ever thought you would, and you're happy to do it. I would encourage you on this because I have looked for this product. We adopted our dog from Wayside Waifs, and they have these, I don't know how you describe the hammock type concept to keep the animal off the floor because of thermodynamic reasons, to keep for heat and cooling and all that. And we've not found anything like that. So we have a 85-pound Rottweiler, and we got him a mat, and it was $85, and we would have spent more if we could have found this. So there's a market, and as maybe you know, there are niche markets of shops here in town that sell just, you know, high-end pet stuff, and they seem to rake in the money. So I'd encourage you on.
Well, the price points on these, this model here, we get it in China made just like this, in a box, you know, with everything on it that we need for about $20. And so to our door, it's going to be about $25 after shipping. So we're thinking around $75 retail, and wholesale would be, you know, like around $50. We're still, so that's where we're at with it on this model. And then the larger one would be about $15 more. So.
Yeah, you could definitely charge more than that, I think, is the general consensus over here.
Yeah.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey. So how much research did you do about competitors' products?
Actually, quite a bit. You know, that's part of, the product
Because
development
the
process.
$75 price point makes me think maybe not. I paid $600 for an orthopedic pet bed for a Great Dane.
Yeah.
So, and that was the lowest I could find a specialty bed for a Great Dane.
Yeah. Well, I think I think coming from our
Throw a twist in there, Morgan.
Yeah, I think coming from our background, in designing products for like Graco and Kiko, we always look for those lower price points that are, big box price points. And so the beds that were in the market were in that range, between 50 and 100. So we tried to keep in that range.
Question in the center.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry, there you are.
yeah, actually, and I sort of disagree with the non-pet person because I'm a non-pet person, but I looked at this and thought, well, maybe I could have a pet because it deals with two or three things. One is it looks nice. One is it's you can clean it, and maybe a place to train your pet to stay off the chairs.
Oh, thank
So
you.
so it might work a good compromise between the pet person who has to live with a non-pet person. But what I wondered about too, and partly because the size of what I'm seeing is, are these travelable? Will they be travelable? I have some friends who are actually going to sell their house and live in an RV, and they have a big dog and a little dog. And then my mom's little Sheltie used to actually ride in a clothes basket on the front seat. So that was kind of what I thought about.
Oh, good.
Question right here in the front.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Will they be will it be able to travel?
Yeah, they come apart in the front here. So I think if I can go back. Yeah, see, they come apart. And one of the accessories, if it takes off, we'd like to do is a travel bag that you can throw it into. It's one of the accessories that we thought about.
Just going, someone mentioned about Wayside Ways. I got my dog from them. And one thing that you probably could consider is like, your partner channel. Since the story of their story is, hey, we are doing a good thing here, well, you could have that, and they could make some money out of that, selling the product. And when you're picking up your dog, you already have the chair, and you're already going home happy, So,
Oh, I love that idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another question in the center.
Just wanted to see how you plan to market to different ages, because obviously you'll have lots of young, people right out of college with pets. You'll have elderly people with pets, and obviously those two different demographics are gonna learn about your product a lot differently. So just wanted to see if you have given any thought to how you're gonna do that.
Well, we have this insert pad, comes out easily, and we're working with a small manufacturer in Oregon to build small runs with different patterns. And so we're thinking that we could sell the patterns so you could get like Christmas or sports, or we're working with this amazing graphic designer, and he came up with this, it's kind of like a graffiti wall cat pattern that's like beautiful. So we wanted to do a variety of pads that people can put in, buy separate, and then customize. But as far as the marketing, we're just trying to get past the Kickstarter, and then we have our website set up for online sales, and the marketing's a huge problem.
I think part of his question may have been, have you had a chance to think about social media strategy at all? People love pictures of pets, etc.
Yeah, we do have a Twitter and our Facebook and Instagram, and then we have a girl that's starting to post on those for us. So we're starting all that stuff, but it's all, this whole marketing stuff's all new.
Question here in the back.
I love the product, and the thing that caught my attention most was at the beginning when you mentioned some of the companies that you've worked with that you've done great work for and made them a lot of money. And I was just wondering if you have taken advantage of that network of manufacturing and distribution and marketing for consumer products through the people you already know to see if they can get you connected into the pet industry so that you can, I guess, bypass, and I think it was said maybe by Grant or somebody, using your patent and a licensing approach so that you can bypass all the marketing on your own and get right to the people who can help?
Yeah, I think we're going to look into that. Of course, because we knew a lot of manufacturers overseas. That's who we use, people that manufacture juvenile products, because we know their quality, and we use the same testing standards that for juvenile products, because there really isn't a lot of testing standards for pet products, but we want it to be really high quality. So in that ways we did, but as far as the marketing piece, no, because they're very specific and they're also in-house, so it's we really couldn't approach them with that. But there are some people that we might know. I don't know. Yeah, we'll probably have to look into that.
Last question from the audience here in the back.
Hi, my name is Rebecca, and I hear a lot of great things that you're doing right now, but I don't hear like a vision as a CEO. That's my main concern right now, because you're really product driven. But my main question is, with Kansas City, we have a lot of resources like the UMKC Small Business Development Center, the eScholars Fast Track, even the KC SourceLink has a great resource. Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, I'm actually starting the Sprint networking, mentor program. I think it kicks off next week. And I did have a business partner a year ago that was, he was marketing, and he went through the UMC program partially. It didn't work out for him. But anyway, that whole marketing experience didn't work. But that would be something that I would like to look into further now that we don't have that piece.
So our final question for you today is, what can we as a community do to help you?
All of the above. No, go look at our Kickstarter, look at our webpage. I have my business cards up here. I mean, if you have any suggestions, we're totally open to any ideas or critique or anything that you might have for us. So anyway, that's how you can help.
Thank you so much for your presentation today,
All right,
Sherry.
thank you.
I'd like to bring up Austin. He has a really quick announcement for the audience.
Hi, everybody. I'm Austin Keel with Kansas City Public Television and Flatland KC, which is our online magazine component. We do a social first series called Cup Date, which is about the people and pitches of 1 Million Cups, and right now we're focusing on the people. So if anybody from the audience who's a regular attendee, or if this is your first time, whatever, wants to come talk to me about why they came and their role in small business or entrepreneurship in Kansas City, that would be wonderful. Very brief interview, one photo, and it goes on our Facebook this afternoon. Thank you.
So thanks for coming this week. Our presenters will be up here on your left side if you want to come talk to them after. Next week's presenters are Stink Boss and KingFit Preventative Health and Performance. So happy 4th of July. We'll see you next week.